I wasn't gonna come today because it's like 84 degrees right now and it's 5 o'clock. But I missed the opportunity to come on the last couple of cool days we had, so, and I am dying to get out and hunt. Like, I went dove hunting one time, didn't do very good. I threatened to go chicken hunting a couple times, well, grouse hunting, prairie chickens, around here. But, I don't know. I'm never the guy that walks 100 yards into a pasture and busts a covey of grouse. I'm always the guy that walks for 3 miles and maybe sees one fly out the other end of the place. So, anyway, it's a little hot. I'm going to go down here to the food plot and climb up in a tree stand. I am reasonably certain that these are 125 grain Zwickeys that I glued an insert in. Really hoping that I didn't use epoxy, because we're going to try to get them apart and put them on these wood arrows that don't have any points on them. I think these ones are 50-55s. I have a judo point on one. It shoots pretty good. Just at the bag target here, so I'm going to pull these apart, put them on there, and we're going to try to hunt with a longbow setup off that ILF rig that I built. Okay, so what I've done, I ran into the store and got a Trophy Ridge 4-banger arrow quiver. Looks like this when it's in one piece. So I cut the gripper on the bottom off, and I cut the hood off. The reason I chose this one is because my options are limited, for one, and for two, it's got foam in here instead of just those little rubber circles. So that's why I chose this one. We're obviously making it into a bolt-on two-piece. I've got 6 of these fender washers. They are 1/4 inch hole, 1 1/4 inch diameter, and then I grabbed 2 of these 1/4 20 3/4 inch long panhead screws or bolts, just because I didn't have any of these laying around. This stuff was all dirt cheap. These are like 15 cents a pop. These are like 55 cents. You could probably find them cheaper. That's just what they cost me at the hardware store where I went. This thing was like 20 bucks. It was like 21 something after tax. So dirt cheap. I already had the JB weld, and that's going to go on this Frankenstein setup here. This is the ILF riser that I built this spring. I built it with the intention of just leaving recurve limbs on it and using it for a bow fishing rig, but I found these DAS classic limbs on sale, so I grabbed a pair. These ones are I think they're extra longs. They're supposed to be 64 inches on a longer riser, a 17-inch riser, DAS riser. My riser's 15 inches. That makes the overall length 62. And the length wasn't as important to me. I would have been plenty happy with 60 inches. But the weight, the 64-inch long ones were the only ones I could find in a 55 pounds at 28, because the sale was almost over. So I have a 26-inch draw, so you subtract 2 pounds per inch, so they should have been about 51, but because my riser is shorter, you would add 2 pounds, so it should have been about 53. My riser is different enough in shape and design, or the limbs were not exactly 55 pounds. I get 51 at 26, which is fine. So should have been, math says it should have been 53. I'm coming in at 51. That's pretty reasonable. So I'm not sure I like the way it looks. I'll go ahead and draw it. So it shoots okay. So in the random parts tub, I had a couple of these square U-bolt plates. We're going to use that as a standoff. So that, in conjunction with a pair of washers, should get us what we want. That seems like it's centered. I'm definitely gonna JB weld all this stuff together because there's a lot of play in there. Alright. I forgot to mention, but I used some of these smaller flat washers that I had on hand, and these nylon quarter 20 nuts. So those might be an extra expense if you didn't have any of that laying around, but it won't be much. These little brass screws are not all that whippy, but that's all I've got left, other than bolts like this. So I JB welded in between those two washers. You're not going to be able to see it now that I've spray painted it, but I JB welded in between the two washers here, and then underneath as well. Put a load of JB weld on the back side, and I put JB weld on the inside of that bolt. I flipped the nuts around so that they're on the inside between the arrows and the frame of the quiver, just so that when it moves back and forth when I shoot, it won't knock this nut onto my riser or my limb, because it will probably move, because you can't really get these things all that terribly tight to ensure no movement. This one is a little bit crooked. I didn't do a very good job of stabilizing it while it was gluing up, but there. You can see it's just a little bit one side. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I thought about spray painting the whole thing, but I don't mind that camo pattern, so I'm going to leave it. And the yellow matches my arrows. Anyway, so there it is, done. Pretty simple. Dirt cheap. Well, we'll go ahead and get it thrown on the bow and we'll shoot some arrows. They were right there. Right at the bottom of those two cedar trees, and they went over that edge. I'm not gonna chase them. Busting those deer kind of took the wind out of my sails. I was somewhere else in my mind and was not paying attention when I came up out of that bottom. Ran right into him. It didn't even get the camera on until it was almost over with him running around. I don't know, man. I always come back to this part of this pasture because I've seen mule deer in here, and I know people that have seen mule deer back here. I haven't shot a muley since 2015, and I'd like to shoot another one. And you know, I've only shot maybe 3 or 4, but I think I've shot 4 with my bow ever, and I always just kind of got lucky. You know, it was on the edge of a shelter belt or the edge of a cornfield or, you know, something like that. I've tried to sneak up on plenty of them. This place is tough to hunt. And it's a lot of cedars in here. And if you watched any of my previous videos where I was spotting stock, this was the pasture that I hunted. And you just get to see them for a moment, and then they're gone. And it's because they're in these cedars. And I just don't think I got here early enough today. So I've been sitting here for a little bit with the sun at my back, looking up into these pockets, but so I've been putting in, and I finally drew a rifle permit for the unit that I live in, and I have a place to go, and they have seen some antelope, so I'm pretty stoked.